welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. I have two very special guests with us here today. Dr. Ralph G., he's a school counselor at Lake Taylor High School, and we have Shonda DeBerry, a school counselor at Granby High School. And you're going to be here today to talk about Virginia College Application Week. Welcome to you both to NPS Now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to have you all. 6 years, 21 years. Wow, that's a long time you all being involved in Norfolk Public Schools. So let's talk about Virginia College Application Week, excuse me. Tell me about some of the activities that are going on at Lake Taylor and Granby High School.
Okay, part of our comprehensive guidance program at Lake Taylor High School involves helping our seniors and basically every grade level, but particularly our seniors, to become more college and career ready. And part of the readiness is also assisting them with awareness of the different programs and colleges that they can select and apply to, but then also helping them to be prepared to apply to those schools and giving them the tools and documents that they need to make that happen.
Right, how's that for your school, Granby?
At Granby, we're actually this week we're doing the preparation stage, so we're prepping them for and getting them ready so that they'll be able to submit their applications. So it's a very energetic time for us there, and just seeing how delighted they are, some of them that maybe haven't even started the process. So we're, this last couple of days, been really getting them in there and getting them started.
Wow, so why is it important to have a specific week set aside for our students to emphasize Application Week?
Again, part of that, the comprehensive program is that awareness piece. And then we really are targeted to this week to make sure that every senior who is not only college and career ready, but also prepared to make those applications and submit those. And this is the particular week that we focus on to make sure that they're ready to do it this week.
Mm-hmm. Shonda, does every senior fill out a college application, and even if their plans are not to attend college? And why is it important for every student to apply to at least one college?
We encourage every student to apply to at least one college. And we encourage them to apply to one college because their plans may change. They may right now think that they're not going to college because they're just a little bit afraid of the whole process, because it can be a very daunting process and very overwhelming.
Right.
So getting them to apply to at least one college, and to also keep in mind that the community college aspect is a very viable option, because for those students who are on the fence, I want to go, I don't want to go, they have an application in, and they also gives them an opportunity maybe to realize that there are other programs within, say for instance, like our community college program, other than associate degree programs that move on to transfer, that
Right.
there are certificate programs. So getting them to think maybe outside of their little box, I think, is very important this week, because with our academic and career readiness, we want to expose them to as many opportunities as possible, and particularly this week gives them the chance not to put it off or delay it any longer.
All right, I'm curious, what are some of the reasons you think students are not or don't want to apply to a college or university? What do you think they're feeling about that?
Some of them are first generation college students, and they don't have some of the background and family history and background of students who have gone to college and have been successful. So for them, it's a very, very new experience. And part of what we do as part of our program, and I think all of Norfolk Public Schools, is to provide those supports and those structures for them to help them to be more confident in their efforts to be the first-time college students. So I think that's a very important part of our program, that we do assist them in that way.
It makes me sometimes think the cost may be overwhelming, like
Absolutely.
my
Absolutely.
family can't afford this, like the first time in a
Yes.
generation college person. So Shonda, elaborate a little bit more. How do you help students with the application process?
With the application process, we go through the phase of exploration, which matching colleges that fit your interests, as far as size, as far as the city, whether it's a rural area, suburban, and also whether you want to how far away you want to be. So we look at the exploration piece and then helping them prepare, because we also want to make sure the fit too, and looking at the colleges are that they'll be able to have an opportunity to, first of all, to meet the requirements and make that realistic as well. And then the preparation, and how do you start that process, what that looks like, that preparation, which means I have to get activity resumes together, their background information I may need from my family, my parent or guardian, and just helping them to just do that organizational piece that can be, again, quite overwhelming, or not knowing where to start. So we just, as much as we can, just to let them know and give them that confidence that you can do it. And probably if you do get the first parts out of the way, and even start with the application, you'll see that there is really, I've started it, now there is an end to this.
Right. They might think it's never ending.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's part of the overwhelming piece, thinking I may not want to apply, but it's great that you all are there to help guide them through that process. So who actually pays for the application fees for these, and how much are they really or usually run for students?
A good segue into Shonda's answer is we have what's called an access advisor that's stationed at our school, and we also have a scholarship chair. And both of those have differing roles in assisting students with the financial piece, and then also working very closely with parents and getting the tax information to assist with paying for the college application fee, in addition to some of the ACT and SAT testing, which is part of the college application process, and then also connecting them with the different scholarships that are available for different schools for different reasons, which also assists them in their walking them through the process. And then even as part of our role is we sit there, okay, this is where your name goes, and this is where, and just
That's
walking
important.
them through the entire application process until we get to, like she said, to the end of the process. And there is an end to it. There is, and so we walk them all the way to the end.
Right, because an incomplete application could mean
Absolutely, starting over.
acceptance.
Right.
Right. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So if a senior receives an acceptance letter, how do you help him or her with the next steps?
Well, at that point, when they receive the acceptance letter, of course, there's the joy that, hey, you got your acceptance letter. But then it's important from that financial, it's important to look at what makes sense with the family, I think financially, because it may be a toss-up, but then you have to look at maybe those little details. What makes sense financially to you and your family, and what's overall going to make you happy as well. So we're looking again at the fit. But then if it's just a narrow margin, what sets it apart? So, and also paying attention to deadlines, because when we talked about earlier about helping through the application process, it's so important that deadlines are understood, because there really are deadlines, and they're not always as flexible as they may be accustomed to. So I think then we just look at those little details that's going to set the colleges apart for the families, and then ultimately it'll be their decision to make that this is where I'm going, because this is the best fit. This is where I'm going to be best served.
Okay. So before students get to the application process, they're responsible for academic portfolios. So tell us a little bit about that and what that is.
That's for us. It was a process we hope that began in middle school, where they do a college and career, what we call the 4-year card or a planning sheet, where the courses of study that they wanted to select began back then. And then once they come to high school, we sort of narrow down and really specify what those courses and that they'll be taking toward a good fit between their personality and between their skills and between their abilities with the kind of career and college that they're going to go to. And so yes.
So this process actually, as you see, starts very early. And then when they come in as freshmen, we do the Virginia Wizard, which is a career assessment, to also see, because they may have had the career assessment back in middle school, but then as Dr. G said, we are fine-tuning, because sometimes those things have changed, and then as we do our academic and career planning sessions individually with each student, we get to know them better and then get an understanding of what they would like to accomplish in these next 4 years and beyond, and getting them to see the relationship between what they want to do and how the courses that they take can prepare them as far as their core courses as well as the electives, how important they are.
Great. So if a student or parent had a question about college applications or the process of choosing a college, what should they do?
I think first thing that certainly they can pick up the phone and contact us. There are plenty. We have for students our opportunities booklets that we have that will walk a student from the beginning and to the end, all the way through financial aid, all the way through understanding what they should be doing in their junior and senior years. But I think as much research as they can do as far as visiting the colleges will be important as well. So we can definitely get them started if they have absolutely no understanding of what we should be doing now. And we do get calls, what should I be doing now? Have I missed anything? Or should they be applying now? And this might be someone just at the end of their, at their junior year. Because as overwhelming as it is for our students and their families that have never done this before equally.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming.
So we just try to give them as much information through websites so they can, visit as well. College Board, has a nice tool, Big Future, that you can go and do a little more investigating.
So what we can do is just tell parents, hey, go reach out to your school counselor with your child, help them walk through the process so both of them will understand what's happening. So thank you both. This has been very informative. I wish we had more time to even discuss it even further. But thank you for coming on the show to talk about this.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Pleasure being here.
Great. And we want you to stay tuned for more NPS Now.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Settler, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. Today in the studio, we have two special guests. We have some veteran middle school athletic directors here to talk about the recent fall sports. We have Emily Pollard from Northside Middle School. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we have Kurt Straub from Blair Middle School.
Thank
Welcome. You're the young buck of the group.
That is true.
But Emily, let's go ahead and start with you. We're going to get right into a sport that we just finished up, boys and girls volleyball. So talk a little bit about the volleyball season, the tournament, and then we'll just go from there.
We had a very good season. All the kids, I think, improved a lot over the course of the season. And at the tournament, we had the semifinals for the girls. We ended up with Blair was the #1 seed, followed by Lakewood and Azalea and Norview. In the boys' side, we had Blair was the #1 seed. They were undefeated. Then Lakewood was #2, Lake Taylor was #3, and Norview was #4. Good games in the semifinals. For the girls, Lakewood and Blair went on to the finals, and in the boys, Blair won their semifinal game, and then we had a little bit of an upset with Lake Taylor taking the second game, so they went into the final there against Blair. And then for the finals the next day, two really good games. Lakewood girls ended up winning that one. They were the #2 seed. They'd kind of gone back and forth with Blair through the season, so they ended up winning the finals. And then Blair boys ended up winning the finals there. And good attendance and good games all around.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a competitive tournament. The regular season, evolved and flushed out, the top four and kind of went from there. So a good tournament.
Yes.
Kurt, let's talk a little bit about the softball tournament. A little different this year, but we really had 4 quality teams in that semifinals and obviously into the finals. So talk a little bit about softball.
So it was held at Norfolk State University, first time us having it there. Childhood's dream, playing on a D1 college campus. We actually had somebody hit it out of the park in the semifinals. #1 seed was Lakewood. They they lost to Northside during the regular season. And then that was a rematch of the semifinals where they eventually beat them going on to the finals. And then we had Azalea and Blair. Blair had a little comeback in the last inning but came up 1 run short. So moving on to the finals, it was Azalea and Lakewood, which was a pretty decent game, tight game, and then as though you had one inning where they opened it up and eventually beat Lakewood.
Okay. So, you know, you said the event was at Norfolk State. Do you think, I mean, the athletes were excited to play? Do you think the competition kind of raised, you know, they raised their level because of the facility they were in?
Oh yeah, I mean, the outfield was pristine, you know, nice green grass. The dirt was dragged for us every time. They actually had the Norfolk State softball players there helping us out, taking score and doing the announcing for us. So that all helped out. And the head coach, you know, great job. Great hospitality.
Okay. All right. So Emily, you've been doing this a while. Let's talk a little bit about what people don't see in terms of behind the scenes, some challenges to pull these tournaments off. Obviously, we have to have records sent in, workers. So go ahead and talk a little bit about you know, behind the scenes.
There's always a lot of planning going into things, finding people that are, you know, dependable to be there for your scorekeeping, that have kind of learned how to do it, and you know they can do it pretty well without, you know, having to have the referee step in and help a lot. So that's one of the first things you just finding those people, making sure they're available. With the tournaments, they're often at various locations, and so it's, you know, a lot of planning ahead of time. Make sure you have all of the things that you need to take with you. You know, tickets, any equipment that you may need to bring with you to use for the tournament. Coordinating with wherever you are having the tournament, making sure you have access to all of the things that you need there to get set up. And then, of course, working, you know, with the custodians if they can help out, you know, here, there, and everywhere, you know, with anything that may pop up while you're there, especially when you're at a school that's not your own. And so it's just a lot of planning ahead of time, really, and just kind of keeping a little checklist for yourself to make sure you have everything, and, you know, getting in a timely manner in touch with your security, your people that are working, and all of that. To make sure that the event runs smoothly.
All right. So Kurt, talk a little bit about some of those challenges going off campus, off our facility, and maybe transportation and things like that. So
definitely transportation. We had a 3:30 game, so schools had to get out around 1:30 and be there by at least 2:30 for warm-ups. Games did start on time, so that was good. Coordinating rides and everything. As far as, you know, stuff off campus, you know, meeting with the head coach, getting a game plan, bringing all the money, bringing the tickets. You know, some parents didn't realize it was a ticketed event, so we had to remind them once again it was. I mean, those are just little things.
Okay. So, you know, our last sport is in the fall this year is football. So we're into our final, moving into our finals. We had a great weekend at Powhatan Stadium with the two semifinal games. So, I mean, we'll let Kurt talk a little bit about football since his team was in it. So, you know, talk about the football the tournament that we have.
So, in the first game, it was Blair and Lake Taylor. Number 1, Lake Taylor, and Blair was number 2. Lake Taylor got on us early, got up 8-0 in the first quarter, and then came back late in the first half, scored a touchdown, made it interesting, 8-6. Received the ball, got stuck, bad field position the whole second half. Lake Taylor ended up scoring again, and then we scored, making it 14-12. Then they got a late touchdown in the fourth quarter, sealing the game. So congrats to them.
All right, and then so we have the finals of Lake Taylor versus Ruffner coming up. So again, that's our biggest event. Kind of drives everything for the year. So you know, we hope to have a nice turnout with that event. Something new that we've done this fall and moving into the rest of the year is our websites, communication. Talk a little bit about you know, our new websites and how they've worked.
It's a really nice feature to have. Obviously, there's a little learning curve as we're kind of figuring out how to utilize all of the different parts of it. But it is really nice to kind of have everything centrally located. All the scores are inputted right in there. It'll create the standings for us, so anybody can look it up really easily and see, you know, where their teams are standing with everybody else in the competition. We're able to put updates on there, feature more photos of the kids during the activities and things like that. So it's a really useful feature. I think, you know, there's quite a few parents that have and students that are starting to utilize it. Obviously, the more we get the word out, the more people I think will go looking for that more frequently. You know, once we learn all the tricks of it, I think it will help kind of streamline things for us a bit as well.
Okay.
Just kind of having everything in one spot.
All right, and you know, to date, everybody, again, you know, it is a learning curve, but Blair's kind of jumped out in front of this website, and so, I mean, how do you think it's going in terms of getting the message out on events, things happening?
I think just getting the message out is probably the hard part. I still have parents, you know, not knowing that the website's there no matter what you tell them, communication, phone links. But the website's great. I mean, if I have a cancellation, I put it on an urgent notice, it pops right up. They'll have a little Remind Me app that's kind of built into it. And I think that's probably the most useful thing out of it because it goes right to their phone. They don't have to call the school and say, is practice canceled today or is the game still on?
Okay, so you know that leads us to where we are moving into, and this website can help us, is Winter One. So talk about some activities and, that are available in Winter One that are coming up.
So Winter One, we have our soccer seasons for boys and girls, and then wrestling. We also have club debate. Coaches are working hard, getting their teams prepped. You know, we do kind of have like a quick tryout period, and then getting everything settled for the games. But they'll be ready. They're excited, and they were looking forward to this season starting. So hopefully the weather will be
so
good.
Kurt, she mentioned the tryout. So what does an athlete need in order to try out for Winter One?
So an athlete needs a physical dated after May 1st of 2018, and they need a concussion form, and you can find both of those items on the NPS website.
Okay. All right. Well, again, you two we all do a great job, but you guys really do a nice job at running your athletic programs, getting that information out, making some, you know, a really nice event for the student athlete during the year. So I appreciate what you guys do. All right. So thanks for coming down.
No problem.
All right. More NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to NPS Now. With us today is a very special guest. Her name is Lanika Brown. She's a Title I specialist here at Norfolk Public Schools to talk about our Giving Tree for 2018. Welcome to NPS Now.
Thank you, Karen.
Glad to have you here, and this is a special time of the year that our students and our parents really appreciate Norfolk Public Schools for. So tell me about the gift giving tree that is going to be in our lobby in the school administration building.
Certainly. So the gift giving tree is an opportunity for the NPS family to give back to our students and their families during the holiday time.
So how do you choose the names to actually go on the tree for students to get gifts?
The students that participate in the Giving Tree are students who receive services through the McKinney-Vento Service Program.
What age ranges are some of those students?
The students range from pre-K to high school, so ages 3 to 18.
Now, when we say McKinney-Vento, for some folks who may not know, kind of tell us what that is.
So the McKinney-Vento program is an opportunity for us to provide services for students who are in transition, so students who don't have permanent housing.
So commonly, what are some of the things that we think those students would like to have or that you see on those tags as their wish list?
Oh, just like any other child, toys, clothes, and what we do is we provide an opportunity for the students and the families to share what they would like as a gift.
So can anyone come by our building and pick up a tag to purchase an item for a student?
Oh, certainly. So anyone interested in participating in the Giving Tree program this year, there will be a tree located in the central office lobby starting on November the 16th. So on November the 16th, you'll be able to pick up a tag. The tag will have the student's wish list, and you're able to pick up that tag, purchase the items that you would like to give, and then bring those gifts wrapped back to the central office and put them underneath the tree by December the 10th.
So you mentioned the tag will have the wish list, but is there any other pertinent information that's on that tag?
Whether it's a boy or a girl, their sizes, things that you need to know to personalize the gift.
So when will those gifts be due back? Because it's important, you take a tag, you need to make sure you bring the items back.
Certainly. So we are asking for all gifts to be returned back to the central office building by December the 10th.
Now when they purchase those items, do we need them to gift wrap them or should they already come gift wrapped?
We do need them to gift wrap and make sure that they attach the tag back to their wrapped gift.
Now when all these gifts come back, how are you dispersing them to the students?
Well, we're having many different avenues for that. The schools that are participating in the Giving Tree, they're asked to pick a representative. That representative will then come to the central office building, pick up the gifts, and distribute the gifts from their schools.
That's interesting. So they'll call the parents in. Is there like a special program they'll have for the parents to come in and get the gifts, or to kind of keep it discreet?
Well, what happens is every school is different, and how they meet the needs of their students is different. For some, they will call and let them know that their gifts are ready. For others, because we have many, many, many wonderful partners in the community that support our schools and our families during this time, they may have a celebration where students get gifts in that way. But every school is unique and different.
Now, are you aware of how many gifts we kind of gave away last year to students?
Last year, we gave approximately 300 gifts to families.
Wow, that is a lot.
That is wonderful. We have many grateful, generous people here in Norfolk. And like you said, we have Norfolk Public Schools people that participate, but we also have a lot of great community partners.
Approximately how many students you think will be in need this year for gifts?
Actually, we're looking between 300 to 400 students.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot. So we need all of the community partners as well as our NPS family to participate if they can.
So what role do parent liaisons play in the Giving Tree process?
Oh, I love to talk about our parent liaisons. They're such a wonderful resource to our Norfolk Public Schools families. For the schools who actually have parent liaisons, they serve as a connector between the school, the home, and the community. And what they do in this particular process is that they reach out to the families. They make sure that they have the resources they need all the time, but specifically during this time, during the holiday seasons. And during this process, they make sure that the students who need the gifts actually receive the gifts.
So what impact do you think this Giving Tree has on the students who receive these gifts?
You know, the holidays are celebrated in so many different ways, and one of the ways is to show love through giving. And this is an opportunity for not only the community to show their love to the students, but also for the students to feel that love from the community. So for those students who may not be able to get a gift from their family, they're able to get a gift from someone in the community so that they know that they're thought of and loved. So everyone wants to be loved. So it's a great impact.
And so you're new to NPS, so how does it feel to be in this role working on this important project?
Well, I'm a part of a great team. It's not just the Office of Early Learning in Title I that's doing this. We have come together, we've collaborated through all the departments. So there's a representative from each department that has come together and take a piece of this work to ensure that our students are actually being serviced this year. So it's great to be a part of any type of great working collaboration.
Yeah, well, we want great participation this year, so I need you to recap the details of when the tree is coming up, when the tags should be taken, and when they need to be returned.
Sure. So our Giving Tree is being put up this week, and anyone in the Norfolk community, any community partner, or anyone in the NPS family is welcome to come and get a tag. The tag will be placed on the tree by November the 16th, and they have until December the 10th to bring back the gift and put it under the tree. And we'll take the rest from there.
Wonderful. And make sure it's wrapped.
And make sure it's wrapped, and make sure the tag is placed on the gift.
Thank you so much, Lanika. Welcome to Norfolk Schools, and we look forward to a successful gift-giving tree for 2018.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. If you have any great story ideas or events happening at your school, please be sure to email us at nps_news@npsk12.com. Again, we want to thank you for watching NPS Now.